What is up, guys? Sente here, and in case you hadn't seen on Reddit, I recently made a post asking people or beginners if they had any questions about the game that they didn't seem to get answers from their usual searches. There's a lot of things to learn about Go, and if you're just starting out, or even if you're an intermediate player and you're not quite sure where to go from here, or you're not sure about something in a particular game, it might be hard to find those answers. So in an effort to be more sort of direct and relatable to the YouTube community, I decided to try to just post a beacon out there saying anybody who has questions, they can totally email me at goinsente@gmail.com, and we can try to answer your questions, as long as they're simple ones, not like review my entire game, right? Just like sort of simple questions. And I got some few really cool questions, and I wanted to share them with you guys, and hopefully we can all learn something new. All right, so our first question asks, basically, what's the deal with the 3-3 point? This person says that they have heard that it's a good place to play, but pros never play there. Everyone always plays 4-4s or 3-4s. So that's a great question, right? Like, what's the deal with the 3-3 point? Why don't we see it anymore? I'm going to preface this answer by saying, first of all, style and the metagame, if you will, is actually a real thing in Go. Even though the game hasn't changed, the players have, and the style has over the years. You'll see openings come and go, rise and fall, and between the 1900s Go versus now, there were a lot of big changes, most notably with Joseki. Joseki revolutionized the Go world by introducing the 4-4 point as something that was even an option, whereas before everyone only considered the 3-4 point or the 3-3 point. So things definitely change and adapt, and the second thing I will say to that is that if you feel like playing the 3-3, you should not let the fact that pros don't play it stop you. In amateur games, mistakes are not because of the opening usually. Mistakes are in the middle game, in the beginning of the middle game, and we make so many mistakes throughout the game that having an opening that is 1 or 2 points less or slightly less in value than another one isn't going to be a make or break deal for us. With that answer in mind, some reasons that the 3-3 isn't as popular anymore, I think there are two reasons. The first is that it is not a flexible move. So if a 4-4 move is played, or a 3-4 move is played, this is a flexible stone. So if someone approaches a 4-4 point, white has the option of extending and making points, pincering, keeping black inside and developing influence, or tanuki, right? One of the above. In fact, if there are some white stones here, let's just throw some random stones on the board. If there's like white stones here, then you can even kick. And now this is a little bit crunched and can be attacked. So the 4-4 stone is very flexible. Likewise, with the 3-4 stone, it's also very flexible. If somebody approaches here, you can connect under and create solid corner points and get Sente from that. You can pincer in any number of ways. Here, 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 in an effort to try to develop this side of the board if you have strength there already. You can just play away. No one actually cares. You can approach something else, and sometimes people even tanuki twice away from a 3-3 point, and it still managed to live. So the 3-4 point is very solid, but it's also flexible. If there's a white stone maybe in the area over here, then when black plays this move, here white can consider responses, even playing the knight's move up here, developing while attacking at the same time. So they're very flexible moves. The 3-3 is not as flexible. Not many things can happen with it. Really, the only thing that anybody does is shoulder hit. We go up, you go up, we go here, here, and here, something like that. White develops influence, black gets some quarter points. And there's not a lot of popular variations for this. There are definitely obscure Josekis for the 3-3, but in 90% of cases, this is what's going to happen. The second reason that this is generally not seen anymore, is that you can't really build any sort of a framework or a large moyo with the 3-3 point. And frameworks and moyos are very popular now in current Go. We see all sorts of frameworks: the low Chinese, the micro Chinese, the mini Chinese, Sanrense, but that's pretty old now. But frameworks and moyos are very popular, and it's very hard to do that with a 3-3 point. Case in point, let's talk about like the low Chinese as an example. We're just going to set up the low Chinese here, and we're like that. This is a framework opening. If white tries to come in, we see that if we play out the standard Joseki, right, up here, I might have messed the order up, but this is the general idea, is that black gets to pressure and crunch down white, and then the top or the right side can be made into points. That's the idea of this, and so it discourages white from playing in this area, because white doesn't get a great result. So if we take this stone and move it to a 3-3 point instead, look at how low these two stones are, right? If white wanted to stop this from becoming a framework, all he has to do is play here. The standard Joseki would ensue, and we can see that just like that, black's whole framework strategy, building a moyo, potentially growing the right side, kind of destroyed. And white is not in any way pressured or in trouble with this opening. So we can see that just by moving the point from 3-4 to 3-3, we see a huge change in the potential strategies that white can employ, and a huge change in black's ability to correctly and most severely utilize his framework. So that's the second reason. All right, question number 2 says, it's a Joseki question. Not a long time ago, they played this Joseki. So here, here, kick, here, and black played this move. The deviation is playing 3-3 by black. I know the normal move is something like O16 to prevent black to be sealed, but I don't see a clear way how white can follow up. Okay, I'm going to assume you mean you don't understand, you don't see a clear way on how white can follow up if black plays the 3-3. Not if black plays the other move. That's what I'm assuming you're asking. So in this situation, I think the best option for white would be to simply extend and just go on with the game. Because if black does play this, his stones are now a little bit over-concentrated. He's invested 4 stones in this corner, while white's only invested 3. White can go on to play another big point in the board, and black kind of lost out on a tempo. The reason that we usually see the normal O16 here is because black ends in Sente now. Black can attack somewhere else on the board that's big, somewhere else that's more important, and leave the corner for later when it becomes the biggest thing on the board. Because right now, taking care of the corner would not be the biggest move on most opening boards. The biggest move would be somewhere else. So this gives black Sente, and as well as the potential for having a big corner. Eventually later on in the game, if black gets moves like this, and black gets this move in, all of this basically becomes black territory. Not to mention this move, if there were some black stones here, let's just, let's do this. If there are some black stones here, then this move becomes very strong because it's pressuring these two moves. Also, I have more questions than what I'm going to show you here, but in an effort to keep the videos a manageable size so people aren't watching this for like 30 minutes, I'm only doing 3 per video. So this next one is, what is a monkey jump? I've seen it used but it's a bit beyond me and why it works. Okay, monkey jumps are great. I remember learning those a long time ago. So let's do this. A monkey jump comes about when black or white, doesn't matter, is occupying a point one space below white on the second line. So it needs to be on the second line, and black's stone needs to be one space below white's stone, just like in this situation. Okay? A monkey jump is a large knight's move that just is, I think it's worth about 10 points. There is nothing white can do to capture this stone. If white tries to cut black off, black has this move. Obviously, white can't play here because that's an Atari. If white tries to go this way, black can simply Atari from the top. And we get the exact same situation. If black tries to play here, or if white tries to play there, black can just slice through. Now that's Atari, and that captures. Or this way, that's still Atari, and that captures. And so no matter what white does, white cannot cut this off, and it only comes about because the stone was one vertice lower than your opponent's on the second line. To show what white should do, I'm just going to make this super simple and just draw a straight line of white stones, because the other way gets into some weird shape issues. So if black plays the monkey jump here, white's best response is to hit the monkey on the head this way. If black tries to get greedy, finds that he's in fact now separated, and these two black stones will die. So black sort needs to pull back here. White can play here, and that's Sente, because if black plays somewhere else, white can capture these black stones. And then black will have to retreat. But it's still a great reduction. And keep in mind, there's a lot of monkey jumps, and if you have to read them out, because sometimes the shapes can be weird, and if you play it without reading it out, he could actually get further in your territory than you anticipated. For example, if it's on the third line, and black decides to monkey jump here, and white does the same move, black can actually just do this. Let's examine. If white tries to cut them off, that's still Atari. If white tries to cut black off here, that's just Atari, and it does the exact same thing. If white tries to play here, black can go this way, and now that's Atari. So if the stones are on the third line and you do this, black can actually just keep going on in. So those are just a few variations of the monkey jump and what the basic idea is. Remember, it needs to be one line below your opponent, or your opponent's one line below you, on the second line, and it starts out with the large knight's move. There is no way to separate it, and there's no way to capture it. So the best you can do is just try to seal it off and minimize your losses. That's why endgame becomes very important when you're trying to figure out, what's the biggest endgame move. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep sending me questions. Goinsente, GOINSENTE @gmail.com, or you can tweet at me. Twitter handle is _Sente. And additionally, if you like the way I explain things, if you like the way I teach things, check out my Patreon page. There's tons of ways for you to get more personalized instruction and help with your games, game reviews, all sorts of great stuff on there. And so be sure to check that out. Links in the description below. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and good luck in your games.